The Thunder made the perfect signing today, bringing back Branden Carlson on a two-way deal, which kind of settles out the rest of the two-way contracts the Thunder are worried about going into the season. Branden Carlson, Brooks Barnhizer, and I think that's it at the moment. I think that's all they are, have for two-way contracts. I could be mistaken. Maybe they signed one of the Summer League guys that they just signed for training camp as well, and the preseason to that final two-way spot. But Branden Carlson is back on the Thunder for sure next season. And this is a huge kind of signing when you look at everything going on because of the Thomas Sorber injury, okay? One more injury in the center department during the regular season, you could have been doomed if you didn't have Branden Carlson, because then you just have Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. Maybe you just have Isaiah Hartenstein, Jalen Williams. Maybe you have Chet and Hartenstein and then no backup center coming off the bench. So that Sorber injury could have ruined a lot of things, but bringing back Branden Carlson really helps out with that depth where if one guy gets injured, it's not the end of the world because you still have another backup big in Carlson, who is a great player. So we're going to break down kind of the entire center depth that the Thunder have now, because it could be one of the best center groups in the entirety of the NBA. Before we get into all that, though, quick moment to recognize that, if you guys are coming back to the channel but haven't subscribed already, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys would hit that subscribe button. You're already coming back on a regular basis, so why not? With that out of the way, let's go ahead, get into today's content, talking about Branden Carlson and this entire center group, okay? So talking about Carlson first, okay? Here is the press release that was, that came out when Carlson was, first signed by the Thunder. Oklahoma City, September 26, 2025. The Oklahoma City Thunder has signed center Branden Carlson to a two-way contract. It was announced today by Executive Vice President and General Manager Sam Presti. Per team policy, terms of the agreement were not released. Carlson, 7 foot tall, 236 pounds, which is a good frame. I didn't realize he was only 7 foot tall. I thought he was like 7'2", but 236 pounds. I didn't realize he was that, big for his frame. I thought he was only like 215 pounds. Appeared in 32 games for the Thunder last season and averaged 3.8 points and 1.7 rebounds and 7.7 minutes of action per game. The Utah native also appeared in 10 games, all starts for the Oklahoma City Blue last season, and averaged 17.4 points on 48.8% shooting, 8.4 rebounds, 2.2 assists, and 2.5 blocks in 28.2 minutes of action. So for the Blue, he was a madman. He was, all right? He was an absolute great player for the Blue. But even for the Thunder, when he was called upon a few times, I remember there was one game he gave us like 9 points in the first quarter. Last game of the season, he scored 26 points and a start. So he has that kind of potential to be a good center in the league. And the fact that the Thunder were able to bring him back on a two-way contract is kind of surprising. I'm surprised a lot of teams didn't go out there to try to bring him on a standard contract, on a low risk deal, where it's like, look, if it doesn't work out, oh well, send him on his way next season. So I'm really surprised that they were able to get him back on a two-way. But the entire center group is kind of nasty when you look at all the other guys that they have. Branden Carlson is just the, tip of the iceberg here. I say this very lightly. I don't mean it in a bad way whatsoever. But having Carlson as your worst center in the center group is a good thing, because he is a damn good player. He's a damn good backup center in this league. So having him as your, fourth, guy in the rotation for the center depth is very good to have. Going to the other guys that they have, and this is in no particular order, Jaylin Williams as your next backup big man, 16.7 minutes per game, 5.9 points, 5.6 rebounds, which he really improved at rebounding last season, 2.6 assists per game. He also looked like a better playmaker, 0.6 blocks, 0.5 steals, 0.7 turnovers, 1.7 fouls per game, 43.9% from three, or not three from the field, and then 39.9% from 3-point. That is really impressive right there. His three-point shot has gotten so much better to where he is a reliable pick and pop option, to where his three-point shot is what's getting him minutes. All right. He might be the best three-point shooting big man on the squad. Looking at it plain and simple, 39.9% from three. I know it's probably not as many attempts per game as Chet Holmgren and the other guys, but he has a reliable pick and pop option now that the Thunder can use. 6'8", I think he's really more like 6'10", 23 years old. He shot 63% on corner threes. 96% of his threes are assisted. Like I said, those pick and pop situations, and 69% of all his shots are three-pointers. Mainly three-point shots is what he's taken, and the fact he's hitting them at a 39% clip, almost 40% clip right there, is very, very impressive. Now going to the next guy in this center group, Isaiah Hartenstein. 27.9 minutes a game, 11.2 points, 10.7 rebounds, 3.8 assists. He is a great playmaking big. Only two that I think are better than him are Alperen Sengun and Nikola Jokic. 1.1 blocks per game, 0.8 steals, 1.7 turnovers, 3 fouls a game, and he shot 58% from the field. You guys know my thoughts on him as well. If he can develop that three-point shot, if he can, it'd be great. I know a lot of you guys say that he shouldn't even worry about developing a three-point shot. My thing is, then you can truly go 5 out with every single player on the court, which makes you practically unguardable. Does he need to develop it? No, because he's great as he is right now. But imagine if he does become a reliable three-point shooter. That's what I'm saying with him in that last video. Look at some other stats right here. 7 feet tall, 27 years old, 81% of his twos are assisted, so a great pick and roll option to have on the squad. Defensive blocks plus minus is 2.6. And so, like I said, great player all around. If he can develop that three-point shot, great. If not, oh well. It doesn't change anything on this team. I'm just saying, if he can develop it, it gives you a true 5-out kind of offense no matter who you have on the court, which makes the team unguardable and makes the offense even better. The last guy in this center group is Chet Holmgren, the star center for the squad, who can potentially make an all-star appearance next season if he can stay healthy. 27.4 minutes a game, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2.2 blocks, which is really impressive, 0.7 steals, 1.8 turnovers a game, 2.3 fouls, 49% from the field, and then 37.9% from 3. Now, the stats can be a little bit skewed because he didn't play the entirety of the season. I think he only played 32 games last season, if I'm not mistaken, because of that hip injury. However, he was on fire to start the year. It looked like he was better than Jaylin Williams to start the year. He was a Defensive Player of the Year candidate very early on. He looked like the best shot blocker in the entirety of the NBA. He looked like the best interior defender. He also had that three-point shot, 37.9% from 3, as we can see. It looked like he took a step in the right direction. Then he unfortunately got injured, which took him a little bit to recover from that. Hopefully he's going to be good to go now this season, not have to worry about that. Hopefully he doesn't get injured. But like I said, best center, 7'1", 23 years old. I didn't realize he was a little bit older than Jay Will. I didn't realize that whatsoever. He shot 42.1% on corner threes. 1,000 of his threes are, all of his threes are assisted. So every single time he makes a three-point shot, it is assisted, whether it's on a pick and pop, him in the corner, something, whatever it may be, on the wing. And then 34% of all his shots are three-pointers. So it's not like he's taking the majority of the time, but he will let them fly from every, now and then. Of course, when you're shooting 37.9% from 3, almost 40, 50, 90, or not 40, 50, 50, 40, 90 splits from the field as a center, of course, you're going to rely on him a little bit more. And I'm expecting a huge year from Holmgren. But the fact that they brought back Sorber, who is a great, or not Sorber, Carlson, who's a great player, to serve as this, backup center in case someone does go down with injury. Now, with Sorber out for the entirety of the NBA season is a great thing because he's on a 2-way contract. You can't play him in the playoffs, all right? Can't do that whatsoever. He only gets 50 NBA games, I'm pretty sure. So let's say Chet Holmgren goes down again with an injury. You then call him up and be like, look, these are where you're going to get your 50 NBA games. Chet's out. You're going to be his replacement for now coming off the bench. So let's say Hartenstein gets injured or Jay Will. If a center gets injured, God forbid, he's that guy that's going to come up there and be in their I'm not even saying in their role, but serve as a backup center while they recover. And he's a good backup center to have in this league. He truly is. So the fact that the Thunder were able to bring him back on a 2-way contract and not let someone else go ahead and poach him this offseason is a fantastic thing, and it's a steal of a signing, which is honestly perfect for the Thunder, as now they don't have to worry about someone else getting injured and missing out on a good playoff seeding or even have to be in the play-in in a tough Western Conference because Carlson can keep the ship afloat while someone recovers from an injury at the center position. That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys personally think about the signing. Do you think they should have gone after someone else for that 2-way spot, or do you think it was perfect to bring him back? Let me know in the comment section below. See you guys in the next one.